So we tried to find out what would be the results of the students who were in 2000 in basic vocational schools, so those who have the very, very low results in this phase PISA. So what were the results of the similar group, so the group which has the same characteristics, gender, socioeconomic background, place of living, all these kind of the things were taken into account, and we artificially, find that group in the PISA 2003 and 2006. And we compare the results, and here you can see the effects. So that's what is important. If you look at the students, at the results of the students, there is the real results of the students in basic vocational students in year 2000. That's the benchmark. And there are the results of the group of the same characteristics in 2003 and 2006. You can see how they benefit from the reform, how much more they gained from this 1 year of education in the comprehensive general track. Okay, probably will not bother you with another type of the statistics, but very shortly, because it is also interesting, and this is the challenge which still is in front of us. Because from 2006, we also administered a so-called national option, the same PISA test as for 15-year-olds, to the first grade of the upper secondary schools. So we could compare the results achieved or obtained by the 16-17-year-old in the upper secondary schools. I hope this is what is written here. And if you look at those results, this is something what is really very embarrassing. They are just look at this bar. This is the results of the basic vocational schools, because we still have the basic vocational schools. They started a year later, but there are some 20% of the age group who are attending those schools. And you see those results and how small is that improvement in the group. The results of the general secondary school, well, the level probably beyond Finland. Maybe not as high as Singapore, but quite high. The technical vocational schools, okay, it's more or less the level of the 1 year younger students in the normal PISA test. So you see, they are 1 year older and they have a little bit smaller results. It's something what is quite interesting. And these basic vocational schools, it's a huge challenge which is in front of the Polish educational system. So you will not be surprised that we are continuing the reform efforts, and the new wave of the reform is mostly concentrated on the curriculum. 15 years after this huge change of the curriculum, we found that it's the need to continue the changes. And this is the shifting to the defining learning outcomes in the core curriculum. So not so much talking about the content, how many hours of what, but what students would be able to, what they can and what they do when they complete the different levels of education. Also, it was reflected in the examination requirements. So the items are more open type of there are not these traditional tests with the limited number of points to be selected, but there are problem-solving questions and a little bit. Of course, there are inspirations from PISA, which contributed very much to this shift to learning outcomes in the whole education community. Extension of the school and teachers' autonomy. It is also connected with the preparation for the broader use of the ICT and e-books, so the teachers are allowed to compile their own teaching resources and work on that, okay? Non-verbal communication also works. I have to speed up. Remembering of talking slowly to not to cause the problems for the interpretation. Inspection. So now it is very clearly defined the role, the functions of inspection, and these different functions, evaluation, control, and support were very precisely described. Evaluation is taking into account also opinion of the local stakeholders, the opinion of parents, the opinion of students, and giving the very substantial feedback to the schools, and is based on the self-evaluation. So it's the real investment in the school development, schools as a learning community, and this kind of a thing. Two very important things. One is the very difficult from the political point of view attempts to lower the compulsory age of education from 7 to 6. There is a lot of opposition from parents who said, okay, our small kids are not prepared for this awful school which would make them a lot of harm. I see from the slides that you understand what I am talking about. Increasing participation in preschool. And we think that this attempts, very briefly, these attempts contributed to this next increase between 2009 and 2012. The new curriculum was introduced in 2008, and that group was, affected by this new curriculum. We believe that it was the most important contribution. Finalizing. What we want to do, we want to keep on progressing. Some people said that it's too ambitious to compare with Singapore or Shanghai or Hong Kong, but we don't see any good reasons not to be ambitious and not to aim high, not to try to catch the clouds. Of course, it would not be difficult, and we changed the structure, we changed the curriculum. So to make the further progress, I strongly believe we have to invest more in teachers. Trust in teachers, in their competences and their spirit. Thank you very much indeed.